Hello and welcome to the incredibly influential and highly successful podcast. I'm incredibly influential.
And I am highly successful.
There's a there's a big delay there, bud. There's a big delay there.
Oh,
Did I
that's
did I
when that's whenever it ended for me. I heard and I'm incredibly influential, and I said it right after. So
uh all
that's
right, for sure.
strange.
Yeah, I believe you.
You did
Today
kind of like have like a break in your speech there, and then it like continued, which I thought was weird. But I was like, oh man, I guess he's doing a thing. I don't know.
I would never do a thing. I don't know what you're
Sometimes you
talking
do a
about.
thing. Sometimes you
I
do.
would never do a thing. I don't. I I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't do things. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. Um. Uh.
Okay.
What is today? Today's the 4th. Hi. It's November 4th. We're recording this on November 4th. Hi. How's it going? How? Yeah. Hi. Hello. Um.
Hi.
What are we doing today? We're talking about stuff. We're
I don't know. You just
podcasting.
invite me to this sometimes. You
We're
know,
recording a podcast. Can you believe it? That's fucking wild. Isn't that crazy?
it's pretty
The
crazy.
internet, right? Isn't it insane?
Wow, the internet. Wow, man. That's crazy.
Electricity and stuff, Isn't that wild? Isn't that
Nikola
crazy?
Tesla, am I right?
Alternating current slash direct current. Very
Thomas
cool.
Edison, light bulbs, electricity.
Ben Franklin
Ben Franklin,
discovered
that's
that
what I was.
lightning was
Yeah,
electricity. Yeah.
that's
Isn't
crazy.
that
The
crazy?
key,
It's
a
wild.
kite. The
Mild
American
electrical
Revolution,
damage,
right? We
yeah.
got all of it.
He fucked a lot of French girls too. He was crazy.
Good
He,
for
he was getting his
him.
he was getting his dick wet all the time.
Good for
You know,
him.
big
He's
ups
living
on him.
his life, and I can appreciate that.
I don't think he's living his life anymore. I think he is very dead. I think he was
Well, he lived his life, and let me tell you, that's the most anybody can ever ask for, right?
he was the oldest member at the Constitutional Convention. So he was an old fuck even back in 1787. So yeah, fucking old ass geezer. But he man laid pipe, mad props to him. He was laying pipe in his like 60s or 70s or whatever the fuck. Yeah, big ups on that. Uh Speaking of American politics, if you're one of our American listeners, it's fucking election day when this comes out. So if you're gonna be listening to this, it's gonna come out at like 9 in the morning Eastern time, and then 8 in the morning Central time. You can figure out where you're from that. You fucking Mountain and Pacific time motherfuckers. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Eat shit. You fucking yeah. Fuck you. Um. But
Wow, so aggressive.
if you're listening to this, it's voting day. You better get out there and vote. It's real important. Uh, you know, uh, Midterm elections. It's not as spicy as like a presidential election, but it's still important. Because shit that happens in the midterm elections, still affects you, dude. Like no matter where you're at, uh, it, midterm elections are still gonna affect you because every House of Representatives person is up for re-election because that's just how it works, and then you probably uh you may or may not have a senator up for re-election. It's like I think you have like a 2/3 chance because it's like a staggered thing. They have 6 year terms, so it's like it's staggered. It's kind of weird, but you probably have a senator up for re-election. Uh, yeah, and it's fucking important. Fucking vote, you pieces of shit. I will personally, if I find out that you didn't vote, all of you listening, I will come down there and I will whoop your ass. Fucking vote. It's not optional. Democracy is non-negotiable. But yeah, make
Good
sure
talk.
make sure you make your voices heard and
All
shit.
right,
It's
guys,
fucking
and I hope you've
important.
enjoyed this episode of the highly successful and incredibly
It's
influential
not the name of the
podcast.
podcast. That is not the name of the podcast.
And we'll see you
That is
next week.
not the name of the
Bye bye.
podcast. That's actually not what we're called. That's a little known fact. That's actually not our fucking name, and I don't know why it's so difficult to keep that going. You know, we've got the I and then the HS. You know, I don't think it's that hard.
You're right. Incredibly irritating and highly successful podcast.
Incredibly, if
IIHS.
I'm incredibly irritating, then you're um uh highly shit eater. That's true.
No, that's
That's just true.
HSE. You see, you're not
No,
gonna get
shit
the
eater is a
acronym.
hyphenated phrase, but it's still one word.
No, I think that that's a little bit of a stretch. I'm not feeling it.
All right, fine. Shit liquor. Shit liquor is one word because
No,
bootlicker is one word. No, bootlicker is one word. That means that shit liquor is one word. Boom.
that's not
Boom.
exactly how that works. No,
My
just because
logic
bootlicker
is
is one word
flawless.
does not mean that you can just create another word
I can
that
do
that
all
is
words are made up. All words are made up. All words
actually,
are
you
made
know
up.
what? I gotta use the restroom. I'll be back. You have fun.
All words are made up. And to fucking belabor the point, since we're on the subject of America, did you all know that Plymouth Rock, where the Pilgrims landed, where they pulled up in their rowboats off the Mayflower, they literally misspelled the name of the fucking town that they invented, dude. Literally. So Plymouth, the town is PLY mouth. On the rock, it's PLI mouth, and it's fucking oh my god. Because back in the day, they didn't teach like uniform spelling. The normal like focus of like what people would be taught if they were taught in a formal education setting is more on like how the handwriting looked, because everyone back then had really fucking good handwriting. All of them were doing like calligraphy and shit. If you look at like the original Mayflower Compact, or like the Declaration of Independence, which was, you know, a fair bit later, but still, it all looks really good. But there's spelling errors fucking throughout, and it's really annoying to look at. But still, it looks real pretty. Yeah, it sucks to read, but it's real fucking pretty. But yeah, it pissed me off that they would do that. That they would misspell their own fucking name. It's so stupid. Like, if there's one person I could punch, it would be the guy who carved that. You know, and just for that reason, not for any of the horrific atrocities he committed to the native people. But yeah. Yeah, fucking god, I hate it. I don't know when he's gonna come back. I don't know why he would do this. It's very inconsiderate. I gave him a lot of time. He should have gone to use the restroom before. You know, fucking plan your shit out, or at least hold it till the break. You know, we only have like 20 more minutes before the ad break. He can hold it. He could have fucking held it if he wanted to. He's just being a penis right now. But yeah, fucking yeah, definitely. Uh, learn to spell. Learning to spell is better than having good handwriting. Is all I'm gonna say. You know, learn the actual fucking English language, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. And yeah, that's been my little PSA for the podcast. Is learn to fucking spell. Oh, and he's finally back. Look who decided to show back up. Yeah.
But,
Uh,
yeah,
I
sounds pretty
I
cool, man.
you don't even know what I was talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you were talking about.
And what's that?
You were telling everybody why Hollow Knight's your favorite game. And I
No,
agree. It's a really
I
good
don't think I
game.
would
I
ever
wouldn't
say that.
say that it's my favorite, but it definitely, it definitely holds an impact with, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Go yeah. Fuck you. Just go fuck yourself. How about that? Uh I don't know what I'm going to talk about anymore. I kind of have exhausted my the things that are pissing me off today. How about you? What have you got going on this weekend? I guess.
Well, Jennifer and me, probably around 7, maybe a little later, depending on when she gets here. We're gonna go out to eat. We're gonna go get a seafood boil. I love a good seafood boil, right? There's this place that we
Uh
go to called the Crafty Crab,
mhm.
and they have like 3 different seasonings, and there's an option for you to just combine all the seasonings into one.
Yeah.
I usually get that at like a medium spiciness, because I don't want it to be too spicy to where I can't enjoy it. Just like that medium spiciness, right?
Mhm.
And then we eat
Uh,
that, with like crab, shrimp. There's some like little cobs of corn in there, some nice sausage, some potatoes,
mhm.
and you just kind of let it soak up into like the little seasoning thing inside of the little bag, right? 'Cause they serve it to you in like a bag, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
boiled.
yeah.
It's
I'm
nice. It's
familiar.
great. It's awesome. So we're gonna get that later. Well,
Mhm.
tomorrow, uh, I think we might go to like this little festival thing.
Mhm.
It's a area called Dewberry Farm. It's like this little place you go to, and there's a whole bunch of like fun little games. Like there's like a little paintball booth and all that. There's like a forest, kind of like trail. I think it's supposed to be like haunted or whatever. I think last time we went, it was supposed to be kind of like a haunted house style thing, but it's like a trail instead of a house.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit too late for the spooky stuff now, don't you think?
Well, I think last year we probably went around the same time, so it was probably too late then too. But I think that they'll still probably be doing it.
Uh
But and then they have like like I said, like little booths here and there. There's one where I think you just shoot a cannon. It's not a real cannon, but it's still fun. It's still pretty cool stuff. But we're gonna walk around probably there and do that. I think it might be me, Jennifer, then my brother's girlfriend. That might be like a little fun thing. Besides that, I am trying to finish up some homework, play some games. That's probably
mhm.
probably about it.
Yeah.
Uh, I did. What's it called? A little bit happened at work. I'm not sure if last time I told you about work, but they have me on
Mhm.
machines. Remember, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like the cherry picker thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's called an order picker. I'm
Yeah.
not. Did I send you the picture of it?
I don't think you did, but I don't know if that's gonna.
I don't know if it's relevant, but maybe for the
Yeah.
story it would be, right? Thing is, nobody else would understand, so I'm just gonna have to describe it anyways. um, so pretty much what happened, right, is I'm trying to be super safe and all that. I'm not going too fast. I'm not doing anything like that, right? We're taking it
Mhm.
slow and steady, right? Because I'm kind of a cautious person, when it comes to things like this, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going about my day. I'm doing my thing. Everything's fine. I go to lunch. I come back, and now literally as soon as I come back from lunch, right? Something happens. Let me tell you what happens, right? So like pretty much the warehouse the way it is that there's like these long aisles that go all the way up to the ceiling, right? Full of product, right? These like shelves, these racks, kind of like at Walmart, but imagine if they went all the way up to the ceiling, right?
Mhm.
Kind of like that. You're in your machine, you drive up next to the rack, you raise yourself wherever you need to go, you get the product. That's how it works, right? So there's a whole bunch of
Yeah.
these racks. Now I just got back from lunch, and I need to go get a batch. Kind of like it's kind of like they give you like a shopping list full of stuff, right? They're just like, here are the things you need to get all that stuff, and then you put it where it needs to go, and then you just do that again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very, this Walmart analogy actually is working great so far. Anyways, so I'm going to get a batch, right? So I pull up into this aisle. I go all the way to the end because the vehicles are parked at the back of the aisles, and where you get the batches are at the front of the aisles, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
go all the way to the front of the aisle. I'm right there, and then there's like a little intersection, right? Because there's one long aisle that runs all the way across the front and all the way across the back, right? So do you kind of see what I'm
Yeah.
thinking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you have all the middle aisles and then two aisles, front and back, that connect it all, right? There's also a middle aisle that connects it all, but I'm not mentioning that. That's not relevant. But at the very front, right, intersection. Now I'm about to
Mm-hmm.
turn, go get a batch. I see a guy coming. I wait for him, right? And as soon as I go, outside of the blind spot on my left, because there is like a big blind spot at both your left and your right, because this machine kind of has like a window, right, that you look out of.
Yeah.
So everything, outside of that barrier of that window is like a blind spot, right? Um, well, I start turning, and out of my left blind spot, as I'm turning left, I see somebody, right? I start slowing down and all that. They did not see me. They hit me, right? Well, technically, we hit each other, technically, since it was a head-on-head collision. But I did
Mm-hmm.
slow down. They did mention whenever they saw the video too. They're just like, we did see you try to slow down. I'm like, thank you. I'm telling you, try to slow
Yeah.
down, right? But the other person, I don't think saw me in time, and it wasn't a bad collision. We were both going pretty slow,
Mm-hmm.
so our machines just kind of like tapped each other. I think that they said that it was like no damage to the machines, no damage to either of us either. You know what I mean? But there was
Yeah.
like a
But still,
whole
there goes your no claims
investigation.
bonus.
There's a whole report. There's a whole this. There's a whole that. Right? And
Mm-hmm.
they were asking me, like, did you get any injuries? I'm like, no. And then they had me like they had a list of injuries. They named off every single thing on this list, right? And then they named off stress. And I was like, at that point, I was a little stressed. I was like, just check stress, and then we'll go from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that was the thing. They suspended my license until I can get retrained and the investigation is over. And that was last Thursday, I think. Not this Thursday, but last Thursday that happened, right? So this entire week, I've been back in like the cart area where you're like on your feet on the cart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No machines and all that because I'm not allowed to be on the machines.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a whole thing. And the person that hit me, they felt super bad, right? Because they had been there for like a long time.
Yeah.
They were there for like 4 years. Never had a single accident. I'm here for 2 weeks, and of course, I get an accident right away. It seems like. What are the chances, right?
Mm-hmm. Probably pretty high, actually. I would say you're more likely to get an accident the earlier you are. But
But yeah, because like I said, I looked left and I looked right, and I looked through the window. I didn't see anybody, and it was just out of the blind spot right there. And sure, I could have like peeked around and did like all this extra stuff, but I didn't see anybody, so I thought we're good to go. And I did slow
yeah.
down, but despite everything that happened, so we still got in an accident, right?
Yep.
So that happened. Uh, this week I've been doing the foot stuff. I got called into like the office yesterday, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I was uh I was like, what's going on? They said that they were doing a little evaluation, right?
Yeah.
Evaluation. So I'm doing my evaluation. They were like, how do you feel about this, this, and that? They didn't bring up the incident, but I asked about it. And they told me that they're gonna resume it Monday. but that they had to delay it because there's like some new safety guidelines and stuff, which is kind of part of why they called me in to go over the new safety stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and then they told me something very exciting.
And what's that?
They told me that apparently they have like this thing that they do every year where they just like randomly draw people to get raises, and I got a raise, and I was like, that's crazy. So that made me happy, at least, you know.
When does that go into effect? When are you gonna start making that extra dosh?
Monday.
Not bad, not bad.
Hmm.
All right,
I think
that
they
sounds
said
pretty good.
it wasn't a super big raise. I think my supervisor kind of has a little bit of an accent, right?
Yeah,
But she said 2.7, I think. 2.7% raise,
that's not bad. That adds up, dude.
which
That's
amounted
like
to like about 51 cents of a raise. Now, if
that's
you're really good
good.
at math, to any of the viewers out there, you can probably figure out how much I was making before and how much I was making after just by the 51 cents I told you, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say it. But yes, I was very excited about it.
Wait, hang on. 2.7 divided by 100. Uh, that would be uh, and then minus
I
1.
didn't think that you were gonna do all this right
I'm
now, but
doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I have I think I have a quiz that's somewhat sort of math related on Tuesday. So when this comes out, actually, it's either Tuesday or Thursday. And either way, I'm not happy about it. Um, yeah,
let me see if I can check the math here. Let's see.
yeah. So 0.51 is if 0.51 is 2.7%, that's a pretty high number, I would think, right?
Well, type out the number that you think it is in the chat, and I'll just tell you.
Um, well, all right. Oh, that's not actually that bad. Okay. So I kind of averaged it out. I said 2.7 is close enough to 3, and then yeah. So it's
Okay.
roughly that. I
Is
I
that the
said
old number or the new number that you got right there?
that's the old number, and then if you add 51 cents to it, it's 51 cents higher than what I just put in chat. Yeah.
Well,
Um
okay, so you take that number, right?
yeah.
You multiply that by 102 1.027, right?
All right.
1.027.
Yeah. Um
And if you get a 51-cent difference, then I suppose you're right,
yeah. Okay. So was that close enough? Was
right?
that close
Because,
enough to the old number?
well, no. No, that's a 45-cent difference. If I type it out here. So
Well, I
you're
did
off.
I
No,
rounded
okay.
2.7 up to 3. So that's why.
I can type out the number if you want to see. I'll tell
Yeah,
you
let
my
me
old
let me see
number.
how far off I was. Let me see how
See,
far off. This
look,
is a
here's
terrible bit, by the way. This is a fucking awful
no,
bit, by the way.
this is great. This is great. Okay, so here's the
This
old number, right?
oh, this is so bad for the
Right?
listeners.
And
Oh,
here's the
okay.
new
Yeah.
number.
Not bad. Not bad at all. I would certainly not kick that out of bed on a cold night. No, that's not bad.
There's the numbers for you.
Very good. Very good. Now you can maybe you can actually buy a tier 2 sub on my Twitch instead of just using your fucking Amazon Prime, which I think you skipped this month. I think you skipped.
The thing is, like, I have
It
to be
didn't show me you
on
did.
to like click it again every time. Sometimes
Mhm.
I do miss because I'm like, you're just not on when I need you to be.
I I've been on a lot this month because I've been getting quite a few viewers. I think I got 107 unique views, but I think that was weird.
You're
That
never
was a weird
online from
thing.
the hours of midnight to like 8 a.m., which are like the hours that I'm like usually free.
I think you should fix your fucking sleep schedule then, boss.
No, no, that like the thing is, it's my work. You know, I have to. My schedule's around my work, right?
Yeah, but you could get home at midnight, go to sleep till 8 a.m., and then be up at a normal time like a normal human being.
Yeah, or then I have to end my day with work, and I feel like starting my day with work is just better because then I can end my day with fun.
But you're gonna have more fun because more people are awake during the what is daytime for us than is nighttime for than is nighttime for us. So you're so the time that most people are up is the time when you go to sleep. So and seeing as Overwatch 2 is dying pretty fast from what I've heard.
I
Uh
feel like yeah, it depends on like where you're hearing it from, I suppose. The the thing about Overwatch is there's not a lot of incentive to keep playing besides I guess the intrinsic value of just playing the game, you know?
mhm.
Because usually when you play a game, you know, you have like things to strive for, goals to reach, right? There's like, oh man, if I get 50 kills with a shotgun, I can get this cool skin in Call of Duty, right? There's nothing like that in Overwatch. The only thing that's kind of like that is the competitive stuff, but that's kind of for most people not enough, which is why I feel like a lot of people are leaving.
Mhm.
But the game itself is fun. Like I said, there's just not a lot of incentive to keep playing unless, you know, you have an intrinsic value from playing, which is something that I don't like. But I think that it's fun enough for me to keep playing, so I don't worry about it too much.
Mhm. Let me look at the thing.
I am thinking about maybe starting back up with the game, some single player games that I've been kind of banking on in my Xbox library.
Yeah.
I also
What sucks is I don't feel like there's a lot of games coming out that I'm really hyped for, you know? Like
um there's a game coming out on Game Pass. I think it's called. It looks very similar to the game. Oh God, why can I not think of it right now? You know what? I'll get back to you with that in just a second. You know, you just keep doing your thing.
yeah, it just feels like there's a lot of games coming out that I just do not feel any hype for whatsoever,
The thing
right?
is,
Like
like, there's like a lot of like small games that come out, like indie games and all that,
yeah, I'm not
which
the biggest indie fan, but I
which
need to
I get a
start.
lot of excitement for. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you've been on Game Pass and all that recently, but there's a game that came out like I think a couple days ago or like a week ago at this point that
Mhm.
I was really excited for just because I've heard a lot about it. It's a Gunfire Reborn. It's a little indie game.
I think I've
I
seen that on Game Pass.
I'm excited to play it, but I know it's not like a super big release. Oh no, here's the big release I was telling you about. It's called High on Life. That
Never
game
heard of
looks
it.
like it's gonna be so much fun, and I think that I've the thing is just from like the pictures and the trailer, it reminds me a lot of another game which I need to think of before I get back to you on that.
Mhm.
Um, what is it? It was Journey to the something planet, or
Savage Planet, Journey to the Savage
that's
Planet.
the one. It reminds me a lot of that game, and I like that game a lot. It kind of has like a similar vibe on in terms of like the visuals, you know.
Yeah.
But
Uh
I don't think the game's gonna be anything like that. But hey, it looks pretty cool
yeah.
though.
I guess the one game that I've really kind of been getting into recently was new game, at least, like game that's, well, it's not new, but it's new to me. Phoenix Point. It's it's like an XCOM spiritual successor, and the lead designer is the guy who created XCOM, so it's just like a spiritual successor to it. Um, it's pretty much just XCOM, honestly, but it's fun. It's fun. It's honestly really good, so I don't mind whatsoever. Um,
Modern Warfare 2 came out, but I don't think I want to get it.
you probably shouldn't, honestly.
I've never
The
really been a
story,
big fan of like the multiplayer in those games. I've only ever played those games for zombies.
it doesn't have zombies. Also, I'm gonna rant about
Exactly,
one
that's
thing
not my thing.
before we go to an ad break. I'm gonna rant about one thing about that. It really fucking pisses me off, right? Um, so they have this actor who's been in a lot of he's been in a lot of things. He's an American character actor. His name is Glenn Morshower, and he plays like the same guy in like everything, right? He plays like a no nonsense American general. He was in Transformers, all the Transformers movies. He was in those, and then in Modern Warfare 2, the original, the 2009 one, he was Overlord, right? Um, but then in this Modern Warfare 2, he plays a different character from the original game. He plays General Shepard. And General Shepard was originally voiced by a different actor. So it's really fucking confusing when they bring back the one actor they bring back from the original, they put him in a different fucking role. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. I hate it.
That is a strange decision.
I hate the reboot. None of the actors do as good a job as the original characters. Dude, it's such a fucking downgrade. It has been such a fucking downgrade since the Modern Warfare 2019. It's been so shit, dude. Like Modern Warfare 3 wasn't even all that great, but fuck, man, I wish we were still playing fucking Modern Warfare 3 rather than this shit. It's so bad, dude. But yeah, we
Yeah.
got to go to an ad break, everyone. Stay tuned. I got some stuff I got to talk about. This is some fun stories. Yeah. And some quick announcements, but yeah, stay tuned. This episode has been generously sponsored by skunknuggetparenting.com, run by my own talented mother. Parenting is hard. Sometimes kids and parents are like night and day. It can be very hard to get on the same page with them, and a lot of parents have anxiety that maybe they're doing it all wrong. Luckily, there is a service out there that can help. Skunk Nugget Parenting Solutions is a company that provides parent coaching services, resource referrals, and psychological profiling, along with 24/7 phone and text access in an all virtual program. Plus, the first consultation is free. In order to get this amazing service, please visit skunknuggetparenting.com. That is skunknuggetparenting.com. Thank you to Skunk Nugget Parenting Solutions for sponsoring this episode. Thank you all for listening. And now, back to the podcast. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the ads. Welcome back. I said before the ad break, I've got a couple announcements. I do have a couple announcements. So, I guess in December, towards the end of December, we're gonna be. It's gonna be a little bit dicey on the scheduling end. I think you and I have already talked about this, but we might miss an episode or two. But I have started preparing for a medical mission trip to Guatemala. I'm going down there for I think about 4 days. From the 27th is when we leave to New Year's Day, which is when we come back. So the scheduling is going to be a little bit tight, but I've sort of just started preparing and stuff. I have just started the typhoid pills. Um, I just took my first one yesterday, and I don't know if they have anything to do with it, but I got sick as a dog for about 3 hours yesterday. It was miserable. So yesterday was Thursday the 3rd, for reference. So I guess so. Here's like the timeline of what happened. I woke up. I took the pill at 8 a.m., like 8:15 a.m., and you're supposed to take it 2 hours after and 1 hour before you start eating. But I don't usually eat like breakfast and stuff on those days, on days where I have class. And I had class, so I left at about 9. I went to class. I was there until 12:15, and then I came home, took a quick little nap, and then I woke up at about 2 in the afternoon. My mom took my stepmom to the hospital, so I was just kind of at home with the dogs all night last night, and then but like right as she came back, and then she left, and then that's what woke me up out of my nap. And right as soon as I woke up, I was like, "Oh my god, my stomach is trying to kill me." And so for the next 3 hours, I was just on the shitter nonstop, and I think I lost like 2 pounds. It was insane. I I I kept weighing myself on the scale, and it was miserable. I fucking almost died. It felt like it was awful.
Yeah, man. We
Um,
talked about my near-death experience. Now we can talk about your near-death experience. Wow, dude.
honestly, it was touch
I
and go for a minute. It
Yeah,
was
he didn't. We
rough.
didn't know if he would make it, guys.
Yeah, dude,
I was worried about him.
you joke, but it was bad.
Oh
It
man, I
was
was. I
that
was
was
thinking. I was
rough.
already thinking of like replacements. I was like, who could be the next incredibly influential, right?
Someone who knows how to do literally everything on this podcast. Oh, I have no
Y-
idea. I have
Yeah,
no idea who could record, edit, market, uh, upload.
I was thinking about taking a stream. Turning it around, making it something big.
I mean, isn't it already? I would say it is already quite big. I don't know why you're saying that the K Thugston stream experience channel thing is
Let
not
me.
big.
You want to know what's
I'm
something
world
funny,
famous.
right? My brother like audibly laughed whenever I told him, your real name, because he was like, "Man, that's funny," and I was like, "It is fun. It's very funny." And because then he was like, "That's probably," and then he was asking me about how you got your Twitch name, right?
Yeah,
That's how it came up, right? And then he was like, "No, that's not his real name, right?" I'm just like, "Yep, that was his birth name."
I was not named K Thugston.
No, 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 no. I'm talking like what it's based off of.
No, no, Kale Clugston. Yes, that
Yeah,
is my real name.
yeah,
Yes.
that's what he was laughing at, and I was laughing with him. I was like,
All
yeah,
right, all right,
it's very funny.
all right. You're the one who willingly goes by Trey. I think I got out better.
I don't
Because
think
like
Trey's a bad name per se.
I I think it is a name for cool people, and you are not cool.
I'm incredibly cool. I feel
No, you're
like,
highly successful. I'm incredibly
haha.
influential. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
let me tell you, man. I feel
No.
like
No.
I
No.
uh
No.
I
You
feel like
said.
I'm
You said.
incredibly cool, or at least
You said.
I
Let me
have more
tell you.
potential, right?
You said.
I,
Let me tell you, and I said no. I'm not. No. Mm-mm. I'm just shutting that shit down right now. I'm just shutting that shit down right now. It's not happening. So yeah, medical mission, Guatemala. I'm excited. Uh, yeah, we're gonna do stuff. We're gonna do medical stuff. It's like a dental. It's mostly
I didn't
focused on
know that
like
you were a
dental health.
doctor without border.
Um, I am a doctor. I have a doctorate. It is
Okay, well
honorary,
don't.
so I can't make you call me Doctor Clugston, but it is in my post nominals.
Why would
Um,
somebody give you an honorary doctorate?
because I'm awesome. I can't. I don't know what to tell you. Because
Who
I
did
did the
you
work for it,
threaten
dude.
to kill?
I didn't threaten to kill anyone. I did the work. I worked for it.
Who are you holding hostage?
I'm not holding anyone hostage,
It sounds a
but
little
the
sus, I'm
release
not
of
gonna
this
lie.
episode. I'm not holding anyone hostage except this episode because it needs to be released at the proper time. You have threatened before to sometimes you'll log into the dashboard and you've actually haven't you sent me the screenshot and you're just like there's that publish now button,
No, no,
you
no.
motherfucker.
I've done it on the episode before. I'm pretty sure we have evidence in a different episode of me being like, "Oh
Oh yeah,
man, it's just one click away."
yeah, all right, it was for my my first interview.
Oh yeah, that I actually did listen to that.
It was actually really interesting, right?
Yeah, I actually I like how it came out, and I was like, man, I was a little surprised. I was like, that's crazy. You know,
Yeah,
he
honestly,
he's
I can't believe it turned out that well. I'm actually really proud of it myself. I feel I feel really good about it, honestly.
what I'm
Like,
curious about was how
yeah,
how you how you sourced that interview. You know what I mean? Because I didn't really think you knew anybody to interview.
I know plenty of people I want to interview. I have a couple choices. I want to I've got a couple people that I want to interview lined up here, and yeah, I
But how
it'll
did you source that interview though? You know what I mean? Like, did you just
uh
like post something about it? Did you like find somebody like DM them? I'm like,
she's a mutual friend who goes to the same university as one of my other friends, and
okay.
uh I I didn't know that she was doing that kind of work. Like we just kind of like we're talking as like friends because it's just like, oh, that person, and they're like, yeah, we go to the same school, so it's like we just kind of talked about that, and then um we eventually got on that subject, and I was like, yo, that's actually really interesting. Do you want to do an interview and we can like because I feel like that's an interesting perspective to kind of have because like not a lot of people will have that sort of like uh ability to reach out to someone like that and actually talk to them and get their like perspective and stuff like that. And I think I asked some good questions. I think and she, Eliza, 100% gave just absolutely very super insightful answers, and it was really really phenomenal to have her on. I'd love to have her back on in the future, but yeah, it was awesome. It was a really good experience, and yeah, hopefully I can keep that up with the next interview. I'm looking around for some potential people, but yeah, if you want to be interviewed, hit us up,
Oh no, I'm all right, man.
iihspodcast.biz@gmail.com. Hit us up. We'd love to have you. And yeah, yeah, I think I did a really good job on that. And I try not to be too sincere. I'm very irony poisoned because I've been on the internet for so long, but I genuinely think I did a fucking good job on that, and I'm very proud of myself for that.
Yeah, man. I feel like you did pretty good. You definitely stumbled sometimes though. For like a whole minute, I felt like you were just stumbling over a question, trying to figure out how to word it. But hey, you did it. So
It's hard to get the right phrasing for a question, especially when you only have like limited time. Because I wanted to keep that show sort of or that episode sort of shorter, just because it's sort of experimental. It's not for everyone. but it was new, and I wanted to see how it would go, and of course I think it did really well, and yeah, yeah, I'm glad you liked it too. I'm glad to have your support.
I
Considering,
know that I even came up for like a very, very brief moment, and I was like, oh man, what's he gonna say about me?
yeah,
But
I don't
yeah,
remember what I said about you.
you were talking about how you're worried that if we talk off stream or off
Oh
podcast.
yeah, yes, 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 yes. We've talked about this on the podcast, and we talked about it in that interview. I'm worried that I sometimes worry that if we get on a subject and we talk about it, and it's like something we want to talk about on the podcast, I worry that we'll use up all our good jokes and all our good banter, and we'll say everything that needs to be said, and then like when we actually talk about it on the podcast, it's gonna be like fucking a nothing burger, and it's just like super bland, just like, oh, did you see that blah 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 happen? And it's like, yeah, like it's not very interesting. But yeah, I yeah, yeah. Uh, fuck. What are we talking about?
Oh man, you
We're
already got distracted.
we were talking about the interview show, I know, but now what are we talking about? We got to move on from that. Uh, fucking Uh, how's the weather? How do you feel about the weather?
Well, like, it's kind of here or there, you know. That's the thing. Whenever you live in Texas, I feel like the weather kind of is never consistent. You know, one day it's cold, and then most days it's hot, and then sometimes it rains, and then sometimes it just never rains ever, you know. And it's like there's no rhyme, reason, pattern, or anything to it. It's just annoying, very much so.
Yeah, we had I think we it rained maybe last night for us, or maybe 2 nights ago.
It's
Um,
kind of been like lightly raining, I've noticed,
mm-hmm.
but not like super heavy rain, which
Yeah,
I find strange, right? Because usually, it's either usually whenever there's light rain, that means it picks up, but it never did. It just was a very light little shower. Granted, I'm not outside during like the prime time of the day, right?
yeah,
Uh, so I don't know how it is for the rest of the day, considering I didn't like keep up with it too closely. But yeah, that's what I've noticed. That it's very very weird. I do want it to get like a little bit more consistently colder. That way I
mm,
can,
mm-hmm.
start wearing those jackets that I like to wear.
Yeah,
Because I do have many many nice jackets that I feel like almost never get worn. I have this jacket that I bought. One of the few piece of like what's it called? Like influencer merch, I suppose, right?
what what influencer did you get it from?
It is an Unis Honest hoodie.
I believe it's Unus Anus. I believe is
I
the correct
I'm
pronunciation, sir.
sure I'm sure that you believe that, but I thought it was super cool. I ended up getting it
Mm-hmm.
like around my first Amazon job, and
Oh,
because it
so that
was
shit's kind of old, yeah.
well,
Oh
you have
well,
to
I mean, I guess
understand.
they stopped. Yeah,
It
I guess
started in
they.
November 2019, and they deleted the channel in
Yeah, November
November
2020.
2020, right?
Yeah, I remember
But
that.
I followed it like every day. The only thing that I didn't really get to see was like that last live stream that day, just because I happened to be
Hmm.
busy that one day. And unlike all the other episodes, which I could watch later, after that live stream, they just deleted the entire channel.
Yeah, I mean, well, given that it's November right now, it's kind of like the 2 year anniversary of it getting deleted. Um,
Yeah, they
I
actually did
think
like
that was a
little
marketing genius. I think that was marketing genius, honestly.
yeah, yeah, it was super duper cool to like watch that, be a part of that, and I'm glad I have like a little hoodie, and the hoodie is like pretty nice. It's like a split black and white hoodie, right? Down the
Hmm.
middle. Um, and like I said, I just wish that I had more time to wear all these jackets. I also have my
Mm-hmm.
little like red leather vegan leather jacket that I like to wear that I got also as part of what's it called? Influencer merch, I suppose, but
Mm-hmm.
this influencer merch is a little bit less obvious because it doesn't have like the name of the influencer on it. Well, not
Yeah.
anywhere visible whenever I wear it, but it's the game theory like Matt Pat hoodie or jacket. I mean, his red
Oh
leather
yeah.
jacket. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
whenever he made that, I was like, I like how that jacket looks, so I got it.
Yeah.
I actually got it
Uh.
in medium at first, but I returned it because it was too big on me,
Mm-hmm.
so I had to get a small. But
Yeah.
it's very nice, very
I
nice.
can't believe you wear a small.
What's wrong with that?
You're fucking tiny. You are a small person. You're minuscule.
I
I could.
am,
You're tiny. You're you're such a small speck of a person. You know. You're just like the 1 inch difference really does just like absolutely like shatter it is the it may be a distance of 1 inch, but like what that 1 inch means is just like you know
you're
like a
talking about between
thousand
you and
miles.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you're built like an oval or like a circle, you know. I'm built like a stick, you know what I mean? So it's just the different body types are have to contribute to it a lot, you know.
I mean, I can't help that bitches love big guys. It's not my fault. I can't help it.
Yeah, you like your little
I can't
oval.
help that I'm mathematically designed to be the sexiest man alive. Fuck Ryan Reynolds.
That's
Fuck Adam
crazy
Levine.
that you just said that. That that's crazy.
It's true. I can't help it. It's not my fault that I was born absolutely just fucking gorgeous. It's not my fault. I can't help it, and I'm really upset that you keep holding it against me. And
You
I'm
see,
it's
you say these outlandish things, and I don't want you to become delusional is the problem, you
it's
know?
not
I'm
a
just looking
delusion.
out for
It's just
you.
fact. It is just fact. It's I I
I worry that you believe that. I really do.
I mean, it's just true. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why you're doubting me. It's not my fault. I can't help it. And I know you're jealous, but please don't hold it against me. I didn't ask to be a fucking sex magnet. I can't help it. I'm it's not a it's just not something that I was asked when I was born, and even if I was asked when I was born, all I could really say was like goo goo gaga and shit, so it's just like how could they've gotten my actual consent to make me to give me this, it's just a happy accident with genetics,
I feel like like I'm a different type of like attractive, right? I'm more along the lines of like the quote
not
unquote pretty
attractive
boy,
not attractive
whereas it really just depends on the type of person that somebody's looking for, right? Like I said, I fit more of like the pretty boy aesthetic instead of like the big strong man aesthetic, right? Because I'm a little slender and all that, right? I don't per se think that that's a bad thing, but it's just how it is.
I think you could probably gain yourself 1.5 points if you made sure you fucking shaved every day, or every other day at least. I think
I try to shave every now and then. I don't shave every day. The thing is, I just don't really feel
the
like
mustache,
I
the all right, open quotes mustache, close quotes. is really what's holding you back here, bud.
I do think that, the all the times that I've tried to grow out my facial hair, it just doesn't connect the way I think that I'd like it to. It grows a little patchy and it doesn't really grow in a
Hmm.
super appealing way, at least to me. So I definitely think that probably not gonna be a beard guy or a mustache guy anytime soon.
Hmm.
But most of the reason why I'll have like some stubble and all that is just because you know, I don't really feel like shaving that day for whatever reason. Maybe it's because I'm not really planning on going out. Most of the days I don't go out, so I'm like, I don't want to put in the extra effort, you know?
Hmm. I mean, I have also like this is coming from me, and I will admit that I do my only weakness as a person, um, just in general, is I also cannot grow facial hair, and it really sucks because my dad totally can, but I think my maternal grandfather couldn't, uh, which sucks because he was also 6'1". But guess where I got the height from? Yeah, I got the height from my dad, but I got the not growing facial hair from him. I really got fucking the worst of both worlds here. But yeah, I also cannot grow facial hair, so I just have to keep it clean shaven, which sucks because I think I could totally rock a nice goatee, but fucking whatever.
Yeah, I feel like, if you have like the hair growing in the right spot, it looks really nice, right? Like I've seen like a lot of people able to grow like those like full beards or like just like
Oh yeah,
I don't
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, and it looks great. It's just that every time that I've tried to do it, it just like I said, it doesn't connect right where I want it to. Like my mustache, right?
Mhm,
When the way it grows in, it doesn't connect right in the middle, which is like
mhm.
it's really silly looking because it's just two strips of hair, but it doesn't
Yeah,
connect, right?
yeah.
And
That's kind of how it is for me. And then my it doesn't connect down to my chin, and my chin doesn't connect to my um mutton chops.
yeah, like it for me, it mostly grows like underneath my chin instead of like on my actual face, where I feel like it would actually look nice.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like a fucking neck beard. I hate it. I hate it. So I have
Yeah,
to like double shave there. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks so much.
but yeah, most of the reason I don't shave as often as I could is like I said, just because I don't go out that often. I usually try to look good when I go out though.
Yeah.
But
What
my
I
costume, the little pirate costume I was telling you about, right, a while ago,
Mhm. Mhm.
I thought that was a perfect excuse not to shave because then I would look more scraggy for the pirate costume, right?
Mhm.
Right. So that was my excuse for a while. I was like, oh, I'm just trying to play a character, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But now that it seems like it's past the Halloween time and all that, it's probably not a good excuse anymore.
Yeah. Um yeah. What I do, I try to at least shave 2 times a week. I shower in the mornings, so on the days that I go to class, I shave before I go in, so I'm nice and clean shaven. And that's also the day that I usually do like my full like hair routine. Um if not, I usually just do like a like the head and shoulders instead of like I I have a very I'm very invested in how my hair looks. I'm a bit of a because I have very long hair for a guy. I guess it's like almost down to my shoulders. I guess if it weren't curly, it would be. Um, so I use like a on days when I go out, I use like a curl nourish shampoo, and then I use like a moisturizing conditioner, and yeah, it works out pretty well. Um, yeah. Also, subject change. I wanted to talk about this because oh my god, it was fucking delicious, right? So um my stepmom and I on I think it was Tuesday, we uh we made Sicilian deep dish pizza from scratch. And then I did a quatre fromage pizza. So like four cheese. I use like Alfredo sauce, um, Parmesan, Asiago, feta, and Romano. So I guess it's cinque fromage, but it was delicious. And then for dessert, she made a um uh this like chocolate cream pie, and it was like she did the whipped cream all by herself, and she used chocolate pudding, and we used like an Oreo crust. It was delicious. And speaking of pudding, yeah, do you what's your favorite flavor of pudding?
I feel like it's either like vanilla, chocolate, or banana. I like banana pudding a lot.
Yeah. I like banana pudding a lot because I can't eat like real bananas anymore because I'm allergic. But what I really like is putting these nuts in your mouth.
I've never
Got
heard of
him.
that flavor before.
I got him again, everyone. It's just
Like I
that
said,
easy.
it's banana for me.
It's just that easy, ladies and
I don't eat
gentlemen.
pudding very often though. I feel like pudding's one of those things that if I see, I might get, but most of the time I don't actively seek it. You know what I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
I go to the store, I'm like, most of the time when I go to the store, I usually just beeline it for exactly what I want. I feel like when I was younger and I had to like sit through people just constantly walking around, it kind of wasn't my thing, wasn't my deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of see that. Uh
I'm not a big
I
shopper, you know.
I've grown to be more of a shopper recently. Except when it's with I will admit that there was kind of an exception. So normally when I go for like myself, I don't usually go by myself. I usually go with my parents cuz they pay, and I'm usually cooking, so it's usually like sort of what I'm doing. So I I usually am one of those like sort of check every aisle type people. I like to go on an empty stomach too, because then I would just like grab more than I usually need, and then that way if I'm hungry, later, and I'm like, oh fuck, I completely forgot it. Usually I don't because I'm hungry, so I'm like, I plan for my cravings in the future. Because when you're full, you just don't think about that kind of stuff.
I
And
suppose. Like,
yeah.
mm, the thing is, I feel like what happens with me, right, is that I
Mm-hmm.
usually get more than I need. Um, and then like Jennifer will want to go eat, want to go shopping, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have to remind her that we have a ton of stuff already here, right?
Oh, you're one of those motherfuckers. You're one of those. You're one of the fucking. We have fucking McDonald's at home. Fuck you. Fuck
No,
you.
no. It's
You
just that,
motherfucker.
sometimes she's not satisfied with the selection, but there is a selection.
Fuck you.
It
Fuck
just
you.
may
I
not
always knew
be
you'd be that. I always knew you'd be
what
one
she
of those
wanted.
motherfuckers.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I
What do you mean?
always knew you'd be there's three kinds of people on this planet. There's we have McDonald's at home. There's starts chanting along with the kids and pulls up to the drive-through, orders a single black coffee and leaves. There's three kinds of people, and I always knew you'd be the McDonald's at home kind of person. That's just the kind of
No, no,
person
no,
you
no.
are.
Look, look. Like, when it comes to fast food, I don't mind eating fast food, right? It's just sometimes I feel like I just don't want the food to go bad, because that's my biggest thing, is that I don't like wasting food, right? So if I
Okay,
buy
that
like a whole
that's a
bunch of
good point.
stuff, right, then I'm
Mm-hmm.
not about to go back to the store and buy more stuff and then, probably forget about the stuff that I bought the first time, which is going bad and think, you know what I mean, right? For me, it's
Mm-hmm.
just one of those things where I'm like, well, I'll just completely finish everything or get as close to finishing everything as possible, and then I'll go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, like, whenever it comes to things that don't expire, I'm fine with, like, buying those, like, in stock or whatever, but, like, I'm not about to go to the store just to buy, what's something that's a good example, I suppose. Like, uh, actually, I can't think of a good example right now. But you know what I mean, right? Certain things that go bad that just kind of sit there for a while.
Hmm.
Not my thing. Not my thing.
Yeah, I've
Also,
been kind of
I feel
I
like
I
when
do
I
get
have food, I feel like eating it, right? Which I know you're thinking that's kind of the point of food, right? But I feel like there's a pressure to eat it,
yeah,
when I have too much, because then I'm like, if I don't eat it, then it will go bad, right?
yeah. I guess to wrap it up, because we do have to do the big red button. I guess I would say that I'm also kind of like that, especially when it's like some kind of animal product or like meat. I'm definitely one of those kind of people who's just like, well, like an animal had to fucking die to give us this. I'm not like a vegan. I'm not one of those like bleeding heart vegans or vegetarians or whatever, where it's like, oh, I couldn't kill an animal. No, I definitely could, but I just am not a big fan of just like, it died. We need to respect it and make sure we don't waste it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just a big fan of like getting through all that stuff. But we do have to do the big red button, and I have one picked out. Are you ready for this? Uh, are you prepared? Do you have your thinking
Um,
cap on?
I suppose I'm ready.
All right. So if you press the button, you gain the powers of Superman, every single one, but so does every other human.
Well, I just feel like I know. Why would I want that?
I think it would be pretty
Actually, you
cool.
know what? I've, this begs the question. I don't know a lot about comic book lore, right? But
Superman
why
is
couldn't the
super OP, dude.
people, why couldn't the other people of Superman's race just not, I don't know, save themselves?
Because all right, so the way Superman works is he gains his power from the
Oh, it's
fact
the
that
sun. Yeah,
yeah,
I
our sun is
remember
more
now.
powerful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. I see. I did forget about, I knew I was forgetting something.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So
Um,
like any
like, here's the thing.
radiation makes him powerful.
It's one of those things where I feel like in a perfect world, there'd be no problem with everybody having superpowers. But there's gonna be something that's gonna be an issue. Either, somebody's gonna have to use these powers for bad, and then it'll be a whole issue, right? But I feel like if everybody has superpowers, then I suppose everybody would be equal, just like how they are now.
Yeah, I think
So
it's back to the old
I
uh
suppose it kind of balances out, right?
yeah, yeah. I think it's back to the old the thing from the Incredibles where Syndrome's like when everyone's super, no one will be. So if everyone's super speed, super strength, flight, laser eyes, freeze breath, all that shit, like everything is gonna be like super convenient, right? So laser eyes, boom, no more need for microwaves or ovens. Freeze breath, no more need for ice dispensers. Um, flight, super speed. I don't think you would need any vehicles or anything anymore because
Transportation would be a lot simpler, and they could probably redesign cities to be a little bit more friendly for that.
yeah, Superman. They don't really have a
Just have
consistent
doors on
speed
every
for
single
Superman.
floor connected to the outside.
Yeah, they don't have like a super consistent speed with Superman because if he
It's
were to fly all the way to the sun from the Earth and then back, it would take him 15 minutes. But usually, when he does that in a comic book story or in uh, or in a like movie, it takes him way less than that, and that means that Superman is flying faster than the speed of light. And if that is possible, if that's what Superman is doing, then he is literally a god. No one could
Well, but
possibly
see,
stop
here's
him.
the thing. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that one video. I saw it one day where they said like, what would be the effects of somebody traveling that fast, right? Like, what would realistically happen?
Mm-hmm.
And they said like a whole bunch of physics things, like, oh, the wind that they were pushing in front of them would cause like catastrophes or in their wake
Oh
wherever
yeah,
they go, right?
100%. But Superman
Right?
doesn't. But Superman doesn't do that. So I'm saying
Right.
if this would be just a universe where everyone has Superman's abilities plus the laws of physics are comic book stuff.
Oh, okay, okay. So we're thinking about comic book laws of physics. We don't have to worry about like catastrophes in our wake just from the the power of our speed.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It would
so
be like did you see
I'll
Invincible? Did you watch Invincible?
I did watch Invincible. It was very good.
It would be like Omni-Man's home planet. The Viltrumites.
Vil Viltrum and the Viltrumites.
Yeah.
Yes.
Omni-Man's basically just Superman without the laser eyes. So it's basically just like Planet Viltrum. Everyone's got, crazy superpowers. Literally, we could conquer the galaxy like super duper fast if everyone could fucking fly as fast as Superman. And yeah, no, we would be like intergalactic like overlords, man. We would own literally everything. It would be crazy. And what would any alien race do to stop us, right? We're literally fucking Superman.
That's the thing. I feel like if we're just granted Superman abilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're in a Superman physics world, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean that we have to also deal with Superman type problems all the time? Like with all these aliens coming out of nowhere and just,
No, well, I mean,
causing problems, right?
I didn't
Because
specify that, but I reckon if we can fly as fast as Superman, we would well, eventually you'd run out of sunlight. So I guess they would need to do spaceships and stuff, but yeah.
does
Uh,
Superman age at like the same rate as everybody else?
I think so. I think he does get old. Um yeah, I don't think the sun does anything for that. He does get old, but yeah, other than that, he's damn hard to kill, and he's strong enough. I think he literally punched the universe and created the multiverse. I think that's how strong he is.
Okay, that sounds like some comic book stuff for sure.
Oh yeah, power creep is ridiculous with DC Comics and
Yeah,
Marvel Comics, of
I
course. But
I've seen like people talk about like these like really really like I wouldn't say obscure because I don't know a lot about comics, but these like crazy comics, right? Where it's like Space Spider-Man and then he like is able to like do these like crazy like nonsensical things. It's like what's even the point after a while of like these superheroes getting more and more powerful, you know? It
yeah,
it
and then
just
Batman does a garage sale, and then Batman turns into Zebra Batman, and he turns evil. And then Batman has a monkey called Mogo the Bat Ape. It's a lot of Batman stuff, pretty much. But yeah,
I always
Batman
do
kind of
love
got it the
like those like
worst.
slice of life like moments of like these superheroes' lives, right? Like I know you don't watch like Dragon Ball, but I like
Mm-hmm.
it's like the funniest stuff. Like whenever you like watch one of those filler episodes of like them trying to get a driver's license after they've like saved the universe like 15 times.
Oh yeah. What I
Eh,
guess if we're gonna be talking about Superman, I guess like the one thing I kind of want to leave with is like one of my favorite Superman things. I guess it's not even like a story or like a plot beat or anything. It's just something he does, and that's that. Everything about him is pretty much invulnerable, including his hair. So he can't shave with a normal razor. So what he does is he has a little like hand mirror and he
Oh
shoots
yeah,
his
I've
laser
seen
eyes
that.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he lasers his own hair off, and we'd all have to do that. And I think that's pretty cool. And I think
That
that's
that
where
that is pretty funny.
yeah, I think that's an absolute win. You know, benefits us, benefits the entire human race, turns
I
us
feel like
into
the
a
benefits definitely outweigh the consequences, you know?
yeah, 100%, 100%. You know, I'm normally all for benefiting me at the cost of everyone else, but if everyone benefits, that's a good, you know, second best. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I guess if we can benefit everybody else too, you know, that'd be cool too, right?
Yeah, and I think that's all we have for this week. Again, go out and vote on Tuesday or on Tuesday. If not, uh, if you're not listening to this on Tuesday, well, I hope the elections went well. Otherwise, we're all fucked. Um, and yeah, I'd like to thank Justin Connor, our patron. Thank you very much for supporting us financially. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without you. So thank you. If you guys want to support us, we are patreon.com/ the letters IIHS podcast, all one word. If you want to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at IIHS podcast, uh, you can find us there. It's the best place to figure out when new episodes come out. And if we have any Q&A or you know, topic suggestion stuff, that's the best place to reach us. But other than that, I've been incredibly influential.
And I've been highly successful.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you guys next week.